Good afternoon, LinkedIn, YouTube friends. It is 12 o'clock and the last of our Lunch and Learn, the 30-day blueprint for new real estate agents. Mind-boggling what is going on in the AI world right now. I try to stay as in tune as I possibly can right now. Actually, in the process of building different types of bots to simplify things and actually leverage AI as much as we possibly can. Boy, it's coming, and it's not even coming. It's here right now, and the tasks that we can put on it, it's crazy. So I'm really excited to see how many hours it's going to free up in my day that can keep me in my highest and best use. And for me, that's talking to customers. So for me, my passion is teaching renters and first-time home buyers how to purchase with very little money out of pocket using down payment assistance and grant programs. That's what I'm all about. But this 30-day blueprint it crosses all things. So just to recap a little bit what we've covered over the past 30 days. So first week, we went over market insights and building your sphere of influence. Second week, social media presence and quick buyer wins. Third week was niche specialization and content creation. And this week was leveraging AI and building authority through webinars. So these are all things I do. Everything that we talked about, with the exception of open houses. I don't really do them a lot, although I did one a couple of weekends ago and I was kind of enjoyed it. So there's just not enough hours in the day. And the older I get, I find that I do need to take at least one day off a week just to regroup, for lack of better words. But let's kind of go through and we'll recap before we dive into the webinars. And today I'm going to give you a glimpse of what I do for webinars. I'll try to give you some numbers. What you can expect when you're doing webinars, the reason I do webinars, and I'll actually give you a glimpse behind the curtain with regards to the software that I use, which is Go High Level. Discovered it probably about 4 years ago, and it has changed my life from an efficiency standpoint. So right now, here we go. Session 1, we covered the market, where it is, inventory rates, things like that. So the market is ever changing. It's really polarizing across the country. I look at some of the coasts, things are changing rapidly there. We've been on a, I guess it would be a 14-year high of, and that is, we're way overdue for some type of correction. I don't think the correction is going to be as severe as some people would think. And that's just because there is such a shortage of there's such a shortage of inventory for those first-time home buyers. But there are exceptions to every rule, and the market changes dramatically for each marketplace. So, but I don't think that the first-time home buyer prices are going to get compromised. I think maybe some of the high-end stuff might change a little bit, but for the most part, I think things are going to be chugging right along. Interest rates, I hope, just hold where they are. I don't know that we need or that we'll ever see interest rates in the 2-3% area. What a gift that was. That was took 70 years to get there. So to think that we might see another dip down there would be a tad bit optimistic in my mind. But just the same, anything is possible. But what I can tell people, if you're waiting for rates to drop, by the time you wait, the floodgates will open, prices will pop up, and you're going to miss out. I mean, when was the best time to buy? 5 years ago. I actually had somebody the other day that's been dragging their feet. It's actually for 2-3 years not being able to find the right house, and found one that was a perfect fit for them, checked all the boxes, and well, it was just a little bit out of their comfort zone. And I was like, well, if you think this price on this house is going to come down, it is not. It is only going to go up. They waited 2-3 weeks. We were actually getting them an off-market deal, and by the time it went on the market, boom. We could have gotten them in at about $320 or so. Just accepted an offer of $360 on it. So when was the best time to buy? It was 2 years ago, 5 years ago. There's no better time to buy than today, as long as you plan on being in the house for the foreseeable future. That's my mindset. So that was the first session, was going over the market, things like that. Second session was a sphere of influence. Okay, I'm the first one to admit I did not stay on top of my sphere of influence. I have quite a few contacts. I wish I would have collected their home addresses outside of the people I sold homes to. Didn't. I'm actually looking to go back and append all of those people. Reason being, if you have the name, the email address, the phone number, and where they live right now, the technology is coming down the pike. It's here already, but it's a little labor intensive. But the technology is right around the corner to where once you enter their address, you can kind of set it and forget it and let AI do a lot of the lifting for you to keep them up to date with all the transactions and all the things that are happening in their neighborhood. So big fan of getting the addresses. So that's one thing that I missed out. I wish I would have focused on my sphere of influence and my database more than I have. So database is huge. The more we can get, the more information you can put in that database and build a moat around it. I think that you can insulate yourself against that next wave of AI that's going to be coming after those vanilla types of transactions. So you can position yourself to be that authority figure in your network through the different educational content and things that I'm going to show you in just a couple more slides. Section 3, we went over the platforms that I use. LinkedIn is by far and away my favorite one. The fact that you can actually find a niche that you want to service and take a deep dive into that niche, identify people that are players in that area, and hopefully develop relationships or get some of that educational content out in front of them to position yourself as that trusted advisor in whatever real estate niche you're looking for. I think that's awesome. I wish I would have discovered LinkedIn a lot sooner. I'm actually off to the races on that. I still post on Instagram, Facebook, just now learning about TikTok. I feel like I never gave TikTok the time of day because it was young. Well, that was 5-6 years ago. Those people are getting a little bit older. So with the average first-time home buyer being 40 years old, I feel like there is going to be a conscious effort pushing that age down. So when I got in the business, the average first-time home buyer, I think, was 27 or 8 years old. Now it's almost up to 40. Very alarming statistic when you think about it. So I know there is going to be a conscious effort to try and push that number down in Washington because it's just creating a huge divide. So, but anyways, social media, TikTok, I think, is something that could work quite well. There's a lot of automation, AI automation tools available for TikTok that I'm working with right now. And that can be used on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and X. I guess X is another platform that can help you tap into some of those younger audiences too. In my mind, if you can grab the Gen Ys and the Gen Zs, that's where I think the biggest market is going to be over the next few years. So I don't do as much video as I used to, but I do think it's important to post on those platforms just to maintain your sphere of influence or your niche or your database, just to maintain your brand in front of those. So not that you're looking to, every now and then I'll get a deal from it, but it's not my goal. My goal is just to continue the brand. And now with all the tools that we have from an AI standpoint, it makes it a lot easier to just maintain that. So from a frequency standpoint, I don't hit it nearly as hard as I used to because it is an uphill battle. And as AI improves, it's going to be an even bigger uphill battle. Right now, if you're not posting tons and tons of videos, I feel like that's just a really tough niche or place to thrive in. I am a fan of batch content, so I try to do my videos once a week or every 2 weeks, just cut a bunch of videos, and then my team puts it all together and posts it all up. And they leverage on AI. So what used to take 20, 30 minutes to knock out a video, they can knock out in probably about 10 minutes altogether. It might take me 2 or 3 minutes to read through the script, get comfortable with it, shoot the video, and then they take it and edit it from there. So probably about 10 minutes of video right now. So AI is really making that portion a lot easier. I do think it's important that you find whatever social media you enjoy being on and maybe try to focus on those and then spread your wings to the other ones. So session 4 was quick wins. What would I do for some quick wins? I mean, you're just getting into this business. You need to generate some cash. I get that. So for me, open houses, number one. Okay. I always like doing open houses with a couple of people, with myself and one other agent. And I would schedule appointments for any other houses that are in the area. When you are doing those open houses, you are on stage. And if people are active in the neighborhood and serious, I would take them through the other houses, leave the open house. Obviously, the partner agent I'm doing with would stay at the open house, but I would show the other houses to people on demand just to build that trust and be known as the guy that hustles. So I have never been disappointed doing that technique. The other thing that I do was post ads. So I would send emails, text out to fellow agents asking them, hey, can I advertise your house on social media? And when I say social media, I'm talking about Marketplace. Marketplace is a platform that can generate a ton of inbound traffic. So I used to have a virtual assistant that would actually send emails and texts out to agents asking if we could advertise their listings. So if I get 10 people that say, yes, I can advertise their listings, and I put those 10 houses up on Marketplace, highlighting, especially if they're 10 homes in the first-time home buyer area, telling people that they can purchase these homes with little to no money out of pocket using down payment assistance programs and grants, I guarantee you that gets your phone ringing. It gets the DMs rolling. So it wasn't uncommon for me to have 10 ads running, and boom, you'll have 10 messages in your inbox. Now, a lot of them are blanket, is this house still available? And they don't respond. I get that. But if you sift through those 100, you're going to get 10 that you can have active conversations with and hopefully take those next steps forward. Now, if you multiply that over a 30-day period, you can start to stack up some leads. I would get those people, send them out to the loan officers for approval for the different down payment assistance programs and grants. And, it's not uncommon to catch people coming out of leases that need to do something right now that had no idea that they could purchase with just a few $1,000s out of pocket. Easy way for me to, I could talk to somebody on Thursday, have them under contract by Friday, boom. So these are quick, easy wins if you follow that blueprint. For me, it was all about leveraging those zero down programs that are available through down payment assistance and grants. So get to know some of the lenders in that space. I am not a guy that chases expired listings and FSBOs. A lot of people in the industry do it. I think they're successful at it, but I think that window is closing from a communication standpoint. Too many spam calls going out there where I think people are less apt to answer their phones. So, and I feel like if you do that, you're just one of 20, 30 agents knocking on those same doors. So how do you differentiate yourself? That's up to you. So discover effective buyer lead sources for today's market. So like I said, I like Marketplace. I would even post stuff on Facebook, Instagram, things like that. So you got to get comfortable getting in front of the camera. For me, that is one of the successes to take you beyond in this industry. And hopefully doing that, if you kept this plan and posted on Marketplace for a week's time, I'd be shocked if you don't have 3 quality buyer consultations by the end of the week. That's how confident I am in that approach. So next thing, session 5, stand out, niche specialization. Okay. In my mind, AI is coming for the real estate industry. Okay. And when I say that, I'm talking like Zillow, Rocket, Redfin. They have substantial investments in artificial intelligence, and they already have relationships with GPT, Claude, you name it. They are striking those relationships. And as a result, people are going to be able to push a button, get a mortgage, push a button, buy a house. I feel like there's going to be a high percentage. It could be 40, 50% of those let's say, white bread or vanilla deals that they are going to go after. People that can push a button, their lives are all in order and get things done. If you want to stand out in the real estate industry, I think it's important to specialize with a niche. We went over these in detail in session 5, like foreclosures, bankruptcies, you name it. A lot of times you'll see legal newspapers that will have all of those different things out there where you can pick your niche. Probate is another one. I think that's a lot of people don't give it a lot of effort. Out of state homeowners that you can find through probate. There's no end to what you can do and how you can automate all of those solutions with AI. What you need to do is start building an audience based on those leads that you can get from various legal publications. In my neck of the woods, it's the legal news. So there's legal newspapers in every county where I'm at in Michigan. So you can buy data from there and from other platforms as well that will give you all of those people in the area. Find ways to introduce educational content to make that process as seamless as possible, just because most people don't know what to do. So the quicker you can find that niche, specialize in it, and be the guy that gives that educational content to that niche, you will stand tall and create that inbound traffic. And that's what I'm all about. For me, it's all about inbound traffic. I want people to be reaching out to me. Now, a lot of these areas or niches can be broken down geographically or demographically, depending upon what you prefer to work with. Okay. I would investigate each niche and find out which one strikes a chord with you before diving in, because it is a commitment. This is more of a long-term play. It takes several months to get these off the ground, but they will pay dividends for the long haul. And it's ideal that you find some good case studies. Find a couple of people that need help that you can learn with. And as a result, hey, maybe even do that as case studies for free in order to get the success stories that you can lead with. Okay. So I do think it's important that you have to clearly define what you're going to be doing in each one of these niches, and then start reaching out to AI, write articles, brand yourself for those niches. And then as you move forward, for me, the niches that I do, coupled along with the inbound traffic, I push them all to webinars. Okay. Right now, let's just say you wanted foreclosure help. Okay. You could brand in that world. You can run ads on Google for the keywords foreclosure help, free webinar, how to deal with foreclosure. Okay. And then just drive everybody to it. You'd be surprised how many people are looking for help. And especially in the foreclosures right now, that is trending. I think the statistics are there's twice as many foreclosures this year than there were last year. And we are only looking for that number to increase. And that's normal. It's going to adjust just to the way the whole market is cyclical. Number 6, content that builds a brand. For me, it is all about education first. Everything you do has to be giving away free education. Try to find different pillars for your niche. Maybe it's maybe you have slide ads. Maybe you do videos. Maybe you post different places. There's a lot of different ways to have different pillars that you can rely on to get that educational content out there to create that inbound traffic. Okay. I'm a big fan of the one-to-many approach. So as these people come in, you want to give them something. Okay. Whether you're going to give them a publication, a book, or the easiest thing is just to give them a free webinar. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. So you basically make sure that people know that you are the trusted advisor. And once you get on that screen, oh, it's so easy. I think it's easy to create quick content creation templates for efficiency. So whether you want to do it with AI or a virtual assistant, I think that there are templates that you can test and continue to improve on. Use Canva. There's a lot of different things out there you can use, and produce your first piece of educational content and make sure you continue to do it. Again, my posts are all about webinars that I'm doing, delivering educational content, or articles telling people about the tools that I use to get people into houses with very little money out of pocket. So again, at every turn, it's all about educating people, which in turn builds that trust and guidance. So number 7, AI for authority and value generation. Okay, so AI for me is everything. I use it a lot. Okay. Now I have assistants that do a lot of the AI work for me as far as inputting things, harvesting it, polishing it up, and posting it. But AI is getting so good that the assistants can be used in different areas now. So the tools that I use, I mean, ChatGPT, I think is great. It's probably the most knowledgeable database out there of information. The problem with GPT is if you don't put the exact question, if you don't put everything in correctly or the way that ChatGPT wants it, it's not going to spit out that great quality information where Claude does. So I'm a huge Claude fan right now. Claude is relentless. I give it a task and it keeps going until it actually gets my questions answered. Where GPT, I'm going to keep entering things till I get the data that I want. Okay. Canva can be connected to ChatGPT. I don't know if it can be connected to Claude yet, but I use that as well. I use Descript for a lot of my videos. They make it easy to cut out a talking head, and then we throw that into Canva, put some backdrops in there, and maybe a little music and things like that. My team does that. So, but I think it's a great way to automate some of the tools easily. So AI is here and it is improving. Some of the AI that's on the horizon is absolutely mind-boggling. The way that you can have AI assistants and sub-assistants that are out there to do things that are absolutely off the charts. I challenge people, you need to go out there and start looking at some of the people that are posting stuff on YouTube, what they're using AI for, and some of the alternative tools that are embracing, ChatGPT or Claude or all the other ones. So there's so much content out there. So for me, you want to automate your content as much as you possibly can, but you do not want to sacrifice authenticity. Okay, so do not there are a lot of people that go out to HeyGen or 11 Labs and, record their voice, get their avatar, and it's obvious. Okay. Right now, it does about 90%. It does a good job up to about 90%. But the audiences can tell the difference, and they will time out. Okay. So don't sacrifice your authenticity by leaning too heavily on AI. Okay. You still got to get in front of the screen to be considered legitimate. Okay. So using AI for CMAs and in-depth market analysis, that's actually been around for a little while. So make sure you do that. There's all kinds of tools out there. I won't sound the drums on that. Most people are already aware of that. Automating email campaigns and follow-up sequences. Whatever CRM you're using, right now, AI can program your email campaigns and follow-up sequences for you. Just plug it in. I use Go High Level, and I have been paying a third party to manage that for us for quite some time. And right now, I don't need that. All I have to do is go into Claude and say, hey, can you write up a email sequence and follow-up campaign automation tools for Go High Level for this topic, and bam. It does it all in code. We just pop it right in, make a few changes, and you're off to the races. So the interoperability between the different platforms that we have with regards to CRMs and other tools, it's out there. Okay. And it's amazing. You just ask for it and it will do the coding for you. So recognizing what AI cannot replace, it can't replace trust and relationships. So that's why I think it's important for you to get in front of the camera, because that's really what develops a lot of trust, at least with the people that I work with, and exudes the authenticity that I think a lot of people look for. It's not about perfection. In fact, when my webinars didn't really take off for me until I started to really put myself out there and let people know some of my business mistakes. That created such authenticity. It built a lot of trust with my customers. So the next one, action and implementation. So I always challenge people, learn a couple of AI tools to get going. All right. So Took us a long time to get here, but session 8, webinars and live sessions, establishing instant credibility through webinars. I can't tell you, I started doing webinars about 5 years ago. I had someone built a webinar system for me through Go High Level and Zoom, and it has been the best thing ever. What used to be one-on-one conversations that I would routinely have all day with people based on the amount of inbound traffic I got from those marketplace ads. I was a phone jockey. I could not do any more. But once I switched over to webinars, going one-to-many, I was able to whittle that down quite a bit and structure all those inbound calls to book time on my calendar. So in addition, it builds so much trust, okay? And it did very well for me to the point where I was wondering how I could improve. And then about a year ago, I met someone that taught me about messaging. And once I was able to get my messaging done and across on webinars, that's when things really started to snowball for me. And when I say messaging, I'm talking about giving people the pain that I've encountered in my lifetime. Okay, sharing that and relating it to the situations that are out there. So most people that go to my webinars, they look at me and they're like, okay, this guy may have been around a little while. How can I relate to him? He's never struggled. Well, once I started putting my story out there through messaging, I became so much more relatable to the people that I was trying to help that it really kicked open the doors for me and for them. Okay. The trust factor is 10 times greater once you have your messaging out there. Okay. So I also, even though a lot of the webinars and things I do are specific to first-time home buyers and renters, I push this to my whole sphere of influence and database. Okay. So they know I sell real estate. They'll come to me for the big purchases and this and that, but they also know to recommend first-time home buyers. Oh, you got to talk to my agent, John. He specializes in that. So don't think by pigeonholing yourself in one area that's going to turn off the rest of your database. It doesn't. It makes you more relatable, and it makes it look like you're a person on a mission. Okay. So a lot of the times converting attendees into loyal clients, some people that go to my webinars, oddly enough, they go 2-3 times before they actually feel like they can pick up the phone and call me. So I try to get that down, but it becomes a little bit more challenging. So it is important that you do these routinely. I mean, sometimes I'll have webinars. I've had webinars with 150 people on it. I've had webinars with 20 people on it. Heck, I've had a webinar with 5 people on it when we didn't run any ads. That's fine. It's all about being consistent. Sometimes, heck, I had one a couple of weeks ago where I only had 20 people on the webinar. And out of the 20 people, 50% of them scheduled calls with me. And I got half of them were deals right away. Okay. So amazing how the consistency plays out. So, and it's all about, some people just are loyal followers. So keep that in mind. Now, we went over the 30-day blueprint recap. I will tell you, when it comes to webinars, I use a platform called Go High Level. Okay. The reason I want to take this to a different level is when I was doing the inbound calls, I was getting, it could be 30, 40 conversations a day with people. It's overwhelming. Okay. Once I switched over to the webinars and I was able to give a lot of that information out on the webinars, it cut those calls by a third and basically throttled what was coming in to better quality people. Okay. So, so for that reason, I'm always going to preach webinars. Do you have to be comfortable getting in front of the camera? Yes, to some degree, but it's not as challenging as you would think it is. I was terrified in the beginning, but that was 5 years ago. Now it's just like stepping up and talking to just one person at a time. Okay. So I will show you, I use Go High Level just to give you a feel for it. And we're actually switching over. Let's see here. Do I have it open? Okay, here's our old account at Go High Level. Basically manages everything. Okay, all the sequences, all the emails, all the reminders, everything. So when people when people reach out, okay, they are going to get an automated text. From an automated text, it's going to go back. I'm sorry, let me go back here. What typically happens is people will reach out to schedule our webinar. That's on our website. And by the way, my website is managed through Go High Level. So it is a one-stop solution. So right here, zero down webinar. So typically what I do is we're running ads or whatever. I'm pushing people to this registration page. Once they register, bam, it goes right into Go High Level. And then Go High Levels, thanks for registering. Here's a link to our webinar. And it also emails them at the same time. And then it's going to remind them relentlessly of what's coming. Okay. So a day before the webinar, it says, hey, John, don't forget, tomorrow evening, we have a webinar. Here's a link to it. The day of the webinar, first thing in the morning, hey, don't forget, tonight we got a webinar. An hour before, hey, webinar starts in an hour. Webinar starts in 10 minutes. Webinar started 10 minutes ago, not too late to join. All of these things just beat on people to the point where they don't forget. And I've tested it. I thought, gosh, maybe we're hitting people too hard. And when I polled the audience, they're like, no, everybody's distracted so much. They need these reminders. And it's done through text and it's done through email as well too. So I do think that it's very important that you learn some of these CRMs that can make it a one-stop shop. I use Go High Level for everything. Okay, I actually use it as a note taker, CRM. I push everybody through Go High Level, so I have it all in one platform. So when I'm doing a webinar, all I have to do is hit send, and it'll send a text out to 5,000 people that have been to my webinar. Hey, doing another webinar tonight. If you're interested in joining, great. Or if you have someone that might be interested, please refer this link to someone else. You'd be shocked how many people go from referrals. Okay. Someone might not be able to do it, but their friends or family members might. You'd be surprised. Birds of a feather. People in awkward situations or whatever typically know people in similar situations. So not crazy to reach out to that audience to share links to get people into your webinars. Okay. What else did I want? Oh, so Go High Level manages my website, manages my database, manages the webinars. It does it all. And it does a lot more that I don't even touch. We're now starting to implement AI into our Go High Level account where it will automatically answer phones and do everything for it. It's mind-boggling the quality of the conversations the AI bots can have with people. So I encourage you definitely to get on board with the webinars. I can't say enough great things about it. So we are over the half-hour mark today. So hope you got some value out of this whole series. If you are looking for the previous sessions, just go back on YouTube or LinkedIn and you'll probably see those there. If you have any questions about what I do, I'm all about the abundance mindset, love paying it forward, love teaching people about what I do. And I actually am in talks and building out systems for people in other areas of the country. If you want to learn how to do webinars in your neck of the woods, happy to pay it forward and teach you about that. I have someone that actually reached out to me last week and said, hey, I see value in this. I see value in the amount of hands that you can get raised when offering this educational content. If I could push people to the webinars, would you do them for me? I'm like, heck yes. Whether I'm doing it for 100 people or 200, 300, 400 people, doesn't matter. Okay. So, and that can be done for any niche, whether it's foreclosures or probates or whatever. There's all different types of niches in the real estate world. I'm actually comfortable talking about any one of those topics. So if you want to help me build out systems, webinar processes in your area or your neck of the woods, happy to do it. Maybe we can learn together that way. So please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Love meeting other people who have similar mindsets in the industry and hope our paths cross again soon. Thank you all very much. Have a good day. Goodbye.